Dear former admissions officer, surprise, it's me again. Hi, I'm Steve Han, and I'm a former admissions officer from the University of Chicago, and I now work as a senior strategist here at Crimson. Dear FAO, I'm a parent of two, and my older son applied and got into college 4 years ago. My daughter is about to start the application process, and it feels like a lot has changed since my son applied. Should I be giving her the same advice I gave him? Should I let him help with her applications? Any help would be appreciated, Cheryl. Cheryl, that's a great question. First off, yes, a lot has changed in the last 4 years, but most of the things that we believe here at Crimson have remained the same in that we believe in the power of good storytelling to make a great application. We believe in having nuanced support to be able to make the most holistically successful application as possible, and we believe in letting students do things in their own way. So your son can totally help, but just know that things have changed. COVID is going to be something you're going to want to think about. 4 years ago around this time, there was no COVID essay in the Common App. That wasn't the thing that we were asking about how COVID has affected you, if you want to include that. That essay usage has gone down in the last 4 years, but obviously it's still a part of the application process if you use it. The application process has changed in that testing was optional, is still optional for a lot of schools, but some schools are slowly starting to bring it back. The SAT and ACT are now digital, and that's offered everywhere now, especially with the SAT. So there again, just components about the individual application that have changed, so just keep that in mind. But in terms of you can best help, again, trying to get some kind of specialized application support, wherever you choose to get that is gonna be helpful because again, it is a pretty nuanced process. But I would say mostly, again, keep in mind that the academic components and the COVID specific components that are anything affected by COVID are going to have changed pretty significantly in how applications are evaluated. Acceptance rates have also gone down significantly because the denominator for schools are increasing in terms of how many applications that they're getting. So it's just more competitive. So the need for nuanced support on the storytelling element and essays has gone up even more since 4 years ago. So with all of these things constantly changing and admissions trends changing year to year, Crimson is always on top of it. And we have a pretty large specialized staff that are all specifically trained to think about one component of the application. I, as a strategist, am looking at everything overall, but we have specific people who are thinking and constantly updating diagnostics that we have on our Crimson app for SAT and ACT testing now that it's digital, and because it's digital, the type of questions they ask are different. We have specific people whose jobs are to know how different essay trends are looking. Every year, schools try to keep similar supplements, but they do change year to year. Harvard, for example, completely changed their supplement essays that they've asked 2 years prior in the last year. UChicago, where I worked and went, changes their supplement essays every year. So our job is to stay on top of the trends so that we can best provide our most specialized support to students so that we're not giving outdated or old advice that would have worked great last year, but maybe not work so great this year. The most obvious example of that is when we were still working with students from 2019 to 2020 to 2021, where all three of those cycles looked drastically different from each other. And so again, our results still stayed really great during all of those. So we're trying to stay on top of things. Things are constantly changing so that you don't have to worry about keeping on top of trends year to year and it seems so daunting when you get to your actual application year. I hope your son is having a good time in college, maybe graduated, and I wish you best of luck to your daughter. If you have more questions about how things have changed, especially because of the pandemic, how college admissions are constantly changing year to year, which they do, leave any of those questions down in the comments below.